Welcome to today's episode of Live Champion right here on Lexan TV. In today's episode, it's going to be one from the heart. Mr. Kurt Knight has been diagnosed and living with MS for the past 17 years. Today, Kurt gets to share his story of trials, triumph, and a wonderful family filled with love and hope. Up next, Live Champion featuring Kurt Knight. Welcome everyone, I'm Lexan Fletcher and this is Lexan TV. Now the Lexan TV platform is home to many great series. There's a Life Champion series and of course General Lifestyle.
You know, this is a career, this is not just about storytelling.
It is a true passion.
Keep doing what you love to do.
I have never chased after money.
You want to leave this world having made a contribution.
But don't forget, there's also food and cuisine. So there's the We Cooking series as well.
I like to cook the curry.
And coming soon, the Life Balance podcast. I'm really excited about that one. Thank you so much for stopping by. Remember to click like, share, and on our YouTube channel, subscribe today.
Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a disease of the central nervous system. In patients with MS, the body's own immune system attacks the myelin, which is the protective covering over the nerves of the brain and spinal cord. Canada has the highest rate of MS in the world, with approximately 100,000 individuals living with the disease. Most individuals are diagnosed between the ages of 15 and 40, and is 3 times more likely in females than males. When the body's immune cells attack the myelin, they cause macroscopic lesions on the spinal cord and areas of the brain. Depending on where these lesions are and the age of the individual, the symptoms that arise from the lesions can vary widely. Common symptoms include extreme fatigue, numbness, lack of coordination, and weakness. MS can be divided into 4 different categories. Relapsing remitting MS is marked by flare-ups of symptoms followed by longer periods of remission. Secondary progressive MS may develop in patients initially diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS and is marked by progressive worsening of the disease with or without periods of remissions or plateaus in symptom severity. Primary progressive MS continues to worsen with no periods of relapses or remission, but may present with occasional plateaus. Progressive relapsing MS, the least common type, continues with intermittent flare-ups of worsening symptoms along the way, with no periods of remission. There is currently no cure for MS. However, there are several options currently underway that show promise. One of these options is a combination of strong immunosuppression, such as chemotherapy, followed by a stem cell transplant. This effectively replaces the dysfunctional immune system of the patient with MS. MS is a complex and devastating disease that has taken years to understand. With increased awareness and sufficient medical attention paid to this issue, a cure may be in the future for all those living with MS.
Welcome back. So joining me now is my very special guest for this episode of Live Champion, Mr. Kurt Knight. As mentioned in the intro, Mr. Knight has been living with multiple sclerosis since 2004, since his diagnosis. And just to let you know that currently there's 2.8 million people living with the disease. And I'm so happy that Kurt is here to share his story of trial, triumph, and he is really a soldier. A soldier. Welcome to Lexan TV. I'm so honored. I'm so happy that you're here to share your story.
Pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Wonderful, yeah.
I'm so happy. So Kurt, this has been quite a journey for you. I know in 2004 you were diagnosed with MS. And if you can take me and our viewers through that moment, reflect on when you suspected that something was off. When was that moment?
That was when I told you I woke up the morning, the tip of my toe on my right foot was numb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was numb, and it's a strange numb too. And I didn't think too much about it. Everybody was telling me you need to exercise more, so I was exercising. Yeah, but it didn't
go
away. It just stayed there. Yeah, it just stayed there. And then Hurricane Ivan.
That's right.
Yeah, and when Hurricane Ivan struck Grenada, my family, they were going through so much trouble, and that is when it started to progress. That's when the stress started, and it started to progress. So it went from my toe to my knees, from my knees to my hips, from my hips to my numb.
Wow.
And I'm on a highway driving one time, and then hair started to go numb. The back of my arm started to go numb. Yeah.
And all of this happened while you were still in school, weren't you, in Miami?
Yeah. I was doing mechanical engineering in FIU. Yeah, I was doing mechanical engineering, and that's when it was happening. Yeah. I started to get weaker too. Walking started to get harder.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk up the steps because I didn't take the elevators. I would just walk up the steps, but I couldn't walk up the steps because it started to get harder and harder. Then I went to the FIU clinic, and they did tests on me, and the doctor, she told me, "But you're normal." I'm like, "I don't feel anything here." And she says, "You're normal." She says, "You're normal." Then she puts me onto a neurologist, Dr. Kestened. He's from Grenada as well.
Yes, that name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, and he ran some tests, and it kept getting worse. I kept getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and then he did a lumbar puncture on me, and that is what's going to prove if it's multiple sclerosis or not. So lumbar puncture, and he calls me a Friday evening and tells me, "Kurt, you've been diagnosed with MS." I'm like, "What is MS?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't worry, there's medication."
Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom flew up quick, and by Monday I was in a hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in a hospital.
You've clearly, you just admitted you've never heard of, you're like,
I've never.
what on earth is this MS, you know?
No.
Clearly you obviously had lots of questions. Is it something curable? What do I do? How do I deal with it? You know, and even at that present point in time, you know, what was your reaction? I mean, how did you feel after the diagnosis?
Because I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know what it was. I was numb, and I mean, they gave me steroids, and when they gave me the steroids, I started to come back. I started to get strong again. However, I couldn't understand it, and my friend at the time was crying. My friend did pre-med down here, and he was doing pre-med. She knew exactly what multiple sclerosis was. I didn't know. Yeah, and it was. I like I said, I didn't know. I didn't know what it was. I was just numb, but I was still able to move around and walk around and run. I just couldn't feel the ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
Describe your strain of the disease. I know there's some strains that can affect your speech, for example.
Yeah.
So your strain, I mean, over the progressive years, you know, what has it done to you physically, mentally?
Relapsing remitting is a strain that I have. Relapsing remitting. So it would get bad, come back, you start to feel better, then it gets worse again, and you start to feel better. It's not progressive, which is another one where it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So mine is relapsing remitting, and it has been a little difficult because 1 minute, well, I mean, at one point in time, at first, I was able to drive with my legs, no problem, but now I have to use my hands, you know, so it's a change, you know, as it progresses, relapsing, remitting. Yeah, that's basically that's what I have,
Let's talk about the drastic changes that had to happen.
Yeah.
You know, because this is, it's a physical challenge. So clearly you had to do a lot of changes, whether it's your diet, whether it's everything to maintain mental clarity. Take us through some of the drastic changes that you had to make as an individual.
First and foremost is driving. I had to drive with my hands because I was driving with my legs and I almost died. That almost killed me.
Wow.
Using the legs still, but sometimes you can't really feel, and then they do what they want.
And then you love motorsports. You love motorsport.
Kurt Knight, 1997 Honda Civic Type R, first generation, EK9, with a few touches to make it work for me. This car is all hand controlled, and it has a motor swap. It's a K20Z1 in it. I swapped the B16B, the 1.6 motor, for the K20. I wanted more torque. K20 Z1, I did that swap with a 6-speed gearbox in it. I also changed the LSD, it has an LSD in it. The hand control system is Guido Simplex. I had to ship the car out to get the hand control system installed. All the other installations, the computer, which is AEM Series 2, the K20, and everything else I did for myself. The cluster is AP1 S2000 cluster. Suspension is Pony adjustable shocks with ground control coilover spring system. So I'm using the shock from Pony and I'm using ground control coilovers, but it's using IBAC springs. Control is very good. I like it. Everyday driving is okay. The car is comfortable to drive. I mean, this is a beautiful car to drive it. Good Lord, St. David's, Grenada. Could you drive this car on St. David's Road? Lord have mercy, it's beautiful, you know. Yeah. And it's a car with dual personality. If I want to drag it, I can drag it. In terms of other suspension mods, the cambers. I did the camber adjustment on the upper control arm. The exhaust that I put in is a full 3-inch exhaust. Originally, it was Skunk 2 Megaflow. I remember a friend on the forum told me, hey, it's going to have a pop. And I ended up changing the barrel in the back from the Megaflow Skunk 2 to Vibrant Stealth Muffler. 3-inch in, 3-inch out. I had to switch that so it could be a deeper sound. The Skunk 2 exhaust was too loud. It still has power steering. It still has air conditioning. It has everything that a ordinary regular car will have. That dent on the hood here is from the power steering pump. Sometimes I say my engine is too big. I have a carbon fiber hood for it, but I just like the Angel White for the Honda Type 1. I'm actually thinking about swapping it to automatic. My father would tell me, hey, why don't you run automatic? And at first I was like, man, I ain't even going that route because I grew up in a 6-speed and a 5-speed, but it's a lot easier to drive if it was automatic, especially in Grenada. If you're away and you got highway driving, it's not a problem. But in Grenada, where you got hills and you got to try to turn, like one time I was stuck on a hill like this and I had to reverse, traffic was behind me and there was a wall in front of me. And I have to do that with my hand, and you need to be sensitive. It's very sensitive because it's a clutch. It's not automatic where it's going to slip and then engage and then you go. It's clutched, so you got to be easy with your hand. Yeah, that's why I say the car is my sword. I'm the samurai and this is my sword.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
What about your diet?
Diet, I had to flip that one. I had to change that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to change it drastically.
Yeah.
It took a while though. It took a while for me to really figure out that, okay, the diet is very important. But like right now, yeah, I had to change that. Because what I've learned is that my multiple sclerosis, you have alkaline and you have acidity. I have acid and alkaline foods. No, multiple sclerosis for me doesn't like acid. Acid makes my lesions inflamed and it starts getting bad again, you know? That's acid.
Yeah.
As alkaline as possible, and alkaline would help it to calm it down,
Yeah.
especially my nerves, because I mean the spinal cord as well as the brain. But the diet is really helping me.
That's
the diet is really
fantastic.
helping me.
So that means you've got to be either vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I had to flip.
Plant-based. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly, green. My mother tells me I eat bush.
Yeah. And you know bush is good for you.
And bush is good.
We all got to eat a lot of bush.
Yeah, chlorophyll is good.
It is very, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
We just touched on the physical. Let's talk about the mental, because going through what you're going through physically, it's going to take a toll on you psychologically,
Oh, yes.
mentally.
Yeah.
Coping mechanisms, man. How did you deal? And I know you mentioned there obviously were some moments of depression.
A lot.
A lot of depression, dark moments, dark spaces. How did you deal with it? And
Writing.
still dealing with it?
Writing.
Yeah,
Yeah. What I wrote, the things that I wrote was where I was able to vent.
yeah,
You know, that was how I was able to vent. Just write it and just get it out.
yeah.
And that was a Facebook time for me too. I was putting a lot of stuff on Facebook, a lot of writings and stuff, and that helped me cope, mentally especially, to help me cope. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
Give me an
writings.
example of something that you've written, Kurt, that's really,
The light at the end of the tunnel. That was a writing that I wrote, and I remember writing that one part. There's no light for me at the end of the long dark tunnel. There's no light for me.
yeah,
You know, I remember saying that, and like I said, you mentioned that. I keep hearing this light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and I would always say that's my daughter.
yes.
Yeah, that's my daughter.
I know we mentioned, we just briefly spoke about motorsports and your love for, can I use the word drags?
Yeah,
drag
man,
racing.
drag racing. Yeah.
But tell me, and clearly it has to be tough, what are some of the, and I know that's on the top of your list, one of the things that you do miss, but what else do you miss, in terms of just getting involved in activities, and you wish you can just for one day just
Yeah.
do it again?
Exactly. Walk properly, like comfortably and not be shaky. You know. My nickname is Drunk because I'm always shaky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that I miss that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I miss that. Being upright and being able to walk and say, well, I'm gonna walk down the road,
Yeah.
All of that stuff is not. It'll come back, but it's not here now.
It's not here now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I slowly lost that.
Yeah.
And like I would tell you, I'm happy that I have such a wonderful family because I'm blessed. Because they've been with me.
Yeah. And you just essentially prompted me for my next, the next question. Your support system.
Yeah.
Since you've been diagnosed and living with MS, a lot has changed for the last year. Your father, your husband.
Yeah.
Tell me, you're an uncle, your son. Tell me about that. The knighthood.
The knighthood.
Hey! Tell me about the knighthood. That system of dad, mom, sisters, your wife, and your beautiful Luna. Tell me about your support system.
Trust me, my family is a very, very strong support system for me. Especially my mom. My mom was there. She was there. She flew up when they put me in a hospital. When I was diagnosed with MS, she flew up. Through thick and thin, she's always been there. Yeah, my family has always been there. My mom, my dad, my two sisters are actually studying to be doctors.
That's right.
One is a doctor, one is a radiologist. Yes. So they want to get me better, And don't worry about MRI. I understand the MRI, how it works, and don't worry about the medicine. I know how that works, So, so they have always supported me and been there for me. Yeah, been there, like for example, you see, like I like driving.
Yeah.
My car, they help me modify my car for hand
That's
control.
fantastic.
Yeah, even all my cars. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and my wife and my daughter.
Yes.
That's such a beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, because listen, my wife's name is Light. Remember the light at the end of that long dark tunnel?
Yes.
And at that time, I was looking I was using my telescope a lot. So I was always following the moon. That's why my daughter's name is Luna.
Luna.
I was always following the moon. And the way you find it is you follow the light. You follow the light. The light at the end of the long dark tunnel, you follow that light and you get to the moon, and that's peace. Because in a house, all I had was the light of the moon in the darkness at night. Yeah, all I had was the moonlight. And I always said that, you know, if I have a daughter, I'll call her.
You're going to call her Luna.
And Luna's here.
She's here. Oh.
Yeah, Luna's there.
Bliss. Your message, and I hope, you know, anyone watching this interview right now, if you know someone or even you're probably struggling with the disease as well, I certainly hope that this conversation is just shedding some light and love, you know,
Right, yeah.
and hope, you know.
Exactly.
What sort of message would you like to leave with anyone out there who is living or knows someone who's living with the disease, Kurt?
Alkaline and acid.
I love that message.
Yeah, no, trust me, alkaline and acid, because MS doesn't like acid.
Yeah.
You know, and have a positive outlook and make sure that you keep your family close.
Yeah.
There's love, you know, and it's not an easy disease. It's not easy to get through, you know, but you can. It is possible. You just have to make sure that you make the changes fast and as soon as possible.
Yeah. Really aggressive.
I waited a while.
Yeah.
You know, and then after the having to go to the hospital for the steroids and whatnot, and as the disease progressed, because like I said, it started in my toe, and numb, and I started getting weak and all of that stuff. Take it seriously from the beginning. Once you're diagnosed, as serious as possible, especially your diet, because food is medicine.
Food is medicine.
And
I
that
believe
helps.
that.
That really does help.
I really believe that.
It helps a bit.
Yeah.
A lot, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow. What makes you happy?
Happy. What makes me happy is the happiness of my family.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. The happiness of my family. Them being happy and them being good and seeing me a positive outlook, and they being happy makes me happy.
Makes you happy.
Yeah, because they've always been there for me, and they've always supported me, and they would stand by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you revealed that your strain of the disease it's 2 R's.
Relapsing remitting. Yeah.
Right. How does the prognosis look for you? I mean, how does the future look for you, Kurt?
Bright. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bright. Yeah. The future does look bright. Yeah. It looks great. I've been through some rough times, you know.
Yeah.
And right now, this is the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
This is the light, and the future looks great for me.
Fantastic. Any plans for publishing those?
The writings?
Writings?
Yeah, would you believe they're just there? I just have them there. Sometimes I don't really read them because it takes you back to when you wrote them. You know, I have a lot of writings, things that I wrote when I was alone and I was going through depression, a lot of depression, and it helped calm me down. It helped clear my head. It helped me to find some sort of peace, especially the Bible.
Yeah.
The Bible helped me a lot.
Yeah.
The Bible, trust me, it really helped me. That was the only peace I could get at night when I would want time to fall asleep. I would just read the Bible.
Yeah.
My brother used to always tell me about a psalm. He used to always tell me about this psalm. I think it's Psalm 30. Always tell me about that. However, I didn't want to know your psalm. I want to know all the psalms. Let me find my psalm. So I read all of them. Every night I would just read psalms, and that was able to give me peace. And I remembered Psalm 18:25.
Wow.
And a preacher told me, you know, my friend, he preaches in a church in Miami, and he told me, he said, God gave you that psalm.
There you go.
Because when he asked me, he was like, what is that psalm? I said, Psalm 18 verse 25. With the merciful, thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright. The way I interpreted, the way I thought about it was, how do I show myself to thou? I was very negative, very stressed, a lot of depression. And I decided to change it from negative to positive. Kurt, how do you feel? I feel great. How do you feel? And I'm in a lot of pain. How do you feel? I'm great. How do you feel? And things started to change after that. And mentally,
Let me tell you.
definitely.
And those powerful words. And it's not just about you saying it, but you believe in what you're saying.
Exactly.
And then that That in itself, look at you.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff happened. And then when I had to make the change to actually using the chair, that was a big one for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I met a good friend. Yeah, his name is Robert Howell, and he helped me to adjust to that.
Yeah.
You know, and we would speak and we would have conversations where we would talk and whatnot. One time he asked me, he's like, Kurt, if you're looking for a wife, read Proverbs 31, 10 to 31. I was like, okay, but guess what? I read it, and behold, she's here. And then Luna comes. Luna is my Genesis 3:16.
There you go. There you go.
So a lot of writings from the book, and that really helped me. That gave me peace.
Yeah.
That gave me peace.
Yeah. I know you're fully into plant-based now,
Mm-hmm.
but if there's one thing that you would love to treat yourself to, like a cheat snack, what would it be?
Chocolate.
I believe you.
Yeah, chocolate.
I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, chocolate.
Wow.
Yeah, Cadbury.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
You cannot beat that. Kurt, I really want to say how much I appreciate you and how much I'm inspired by you.
Thank you.
And, you know, your story is undoubtedly going to help someone. I know it's going to help someone out there.
Right.
You know, and it's just so important to share. And sharing,
Yeah, of course.
you can't beat that, you know?
no.
So I'm so happy that you made some time for us today on Lexan
And
TV.
thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful.
You're
and outside
wel-
is great.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. You can't beat this, right?
No.
You can't beat this. You can't beat this. To the folks at Monk Cinnamon, thank you so much again. But Kurt, all the best. All the
Thank you,
best.
thank
And
you.
you know, I'll be checking in on you from time to time.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Take good care. Take care of your family.
And much blessings
And
to
I
you
know
and
your family will take care of you.
Thank you, Lexan. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome everyone, I'm Lexan Fletcher and this is Lexan TV. Now the Lexan TV platform is home to many great series. There's a Life Champion series and of course General Lifestyle.
You know, this is a career. This is not just about storytelling.
It is a true passion.
Keep doing what you love to do.
I have never chased after money.
You want to leave this world having made a contribution.
But don't forget, there's also food and cuisine. So there's the We Cooking series as well.
I like to cook the curry.
And coming soon, the Life Balance podcast. I'm really excited about that one. Thank you so much for stopping by. Remember to click like, share, and on our YouTube channel, subscribe today. Well, that's the show for today. Certainly hope you've enjoyed this inspiring conversation with Mr. Kurt Knight. I want to say a hearty thank you to the management and staff of Mount Cinnamon. And of course, we're chilling here very close to the beach cabana. You should visit them sometime. And of course, don't forget protocols in place. Don't forget to check out all the platforms for Lexan TV, YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. And of course, our Facebook page. Until next time, thank you for watching. It's Lexan TV, where it's all about life. Take good care. Bye-bye. Well, that's the show for today, folks. That was my conversation with Mr. Kurt Knight. I certainly hope that today's show truly have left you inspired. To all of you who may be suffering with MS, I want to say my heart goes out to you. And no, I don't like that. Well, that's the show for today. We certainly hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Life Champion featuring Kurt Knight. I certainly hope you've... Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Okay. Yes, I want bloopers, but it doesn't give me... Yeah. Okay.